Going live.
Yes, we are. Welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News. We have an awesome Drinkin Bro of the week this week, and we're going to save it for the end, but I just got off the phone with him. And
With the Drinkin Bro?
Correct. And it's going to be near and dear to your heart in particular.
Me?
You're in Tiffany's, yes, for Drinkin Broettes. By the way, Drinkin Broettes is Scorching Earth. Subscribe on iTunes or Spotify if you have not. Big fan of you guys' show.
Thank
you.
you.
You guys are putting out a bonus episode this week, bonus episode next week. You're giving the people what they want. You're giving them the goods.
Look, well, when we were in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
you guys have got some too you need to put out.
Tons of people. Like,
You got some porn stars. Shut the fuck up. You got some porn stars that
Yeah.
you need to
Katie Cush
push out there.
That's poppin'.
Push it in and push it out.
popping
you
out on
know?
the show.
Put it in and put it out, right?
Yeah. Katie Cush
I want to die.
popping it down.
Stick it in
She was
and
into
pull
you.
it out.
I think you could have dated her, by the way.
Was she?
Yeah, she was into Dan.
You always say that about any woman that comes on the show just because
I think it's
you're
true.
uncomfortable with the fact that I'm not married right now and you're just always trying to push your agenda on me.
It's not
Do
that.
you not feel like they are
It's not that. I think because you
that
don't
they gravitate
care,
I
towards you?
don't care. He's right.
Yes.
I don't care. And
That's what I said.
and they're always intrigued. They're like, I don't understand. Like, so afterwards, you know, we'll be chatting with them or whatever, and they're like, oh, when's the show gonna air? When are you putting it up and whatever? And I'll be like, here, and they'll always say the same thing. They're like, what's the deal with Dan? Mm-hmm. But like, curious. Like,
I don't think that
their
means
interest is piqued.
I don't think that means they're into me. That just means that I'm a weird person.
No,
That's it.
No.
Oh, and
Like,
they're
just
just
because you
they're
want-
literally just asking what's up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if some dude was on fire, you'd walk by like, why is this guy on fire? That doesn't mean you
Yeah.
want to fuck him.
Yeah, it's true.
You're just like worried about him, his
And
well-being.
then Savage Saturdays, by the way. Derek White is another one. So every time I go out with Derek, like a girl will come up and give their number to Derek. And
I mean, but that makes sense.
but no, but they're like, and I'm like, do you know him? Like the last one was at what was the fucking Mexican place across from the Bellagio? Cabo Wabo.
Oh boy,
It was a waitress at
you're
Cabo
picking
Wabo.
up chicks at Cabo Wabo.
He was not.
I know he
Derek is
wasn't.
happily married and everything else.
Sure.
This girl, this waitress came over from. I watched her from across the room, and I was like, and I looked at Derek and I go, I wonder what this is going to be. And then she goes, hey, I think you're hot. You know, and he's sitting
Right.
there, no leg, no nothing, and didn't know. I was like, do you know who he is or anything? She was like, no, does it matter? And I go, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Derek's one of those guys too, where it's just like, there's
Well,
something about him
Milo-
from across the room.
Milo talked about it with you.
About Derek or about me?
About
you.
you.
Oh, yeah,
About
yeah.
the
Yeah.
attraction of you.
Yeah.
It's
And I
weird.
think he pretty much nailed it.
Gays know.
Just give them time to get to know me, and then that'll all go away.
Absolutely.
Because
but
they'll
I
realize
just-
that I'm
yeah.
not doing it. I'm not intentionally mysterious. I just literally do not give a shit about you. There's 3 human beings on this
But there's
planet that I
also
care
like
about.
a primal thing of like we know you can like you're can kill somebody.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah,
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's
That's-
what Milo was saying. Like I feel like you could fucking kill someone.
that's
for
in your
me.
DNA as a
Exactly.
as a gay man or a woman,
Sure.
a straight woman. That's in your DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
To
gotta
be
find
like,
it,
who's
find-
the person that can protect you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're like, look at Ross, and they're like, all right. And is there any? You know what I mean? Like,
Whoa, Jesse.
I mean, like physically, like you would probably punch someone.
Yeah.
Would it hurt them?
You don't really.
I don't know.
You don't have an aggressive, murdery attitude.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
I think is
like
what
you'd
she's
probably
saying.
try and talk your way.
It's funny that you say that. We just did a show on Ross Patterson Revolution about how many people I want to murder, and if Jesse and my kids die in like a plane crash or something, I'm gonna go back and just murder these people because there's nothing left to live for. And it's in my number's in the 40s, and I don't know if you keep track of yours.
Who are you talking to? I mean, come on.
No, I don't keep track. I mean, that would
Be too high of a number.
any pedophile.
Yeah, well, of course, obviously, but mine.
So that's like hundreds of thousands of people.
my murders. My murders.
So you
were
don't even have to have personal
personal
a
interactions.
personal interaction with them.
No, if
Okay.
someone's diddled a child, they got to die.
Yeah, I agree.
And you would
Every
just
single
find
one of those
them.
people are on. No, well, I don't know how much I can talk about this, but I heard this story once of this person that had an offshore database that it's just it's a very simple replication server, and what it does is once every couple of days it fully downloads the entire National Sex Offender Registry database, and it keeps it offshore, and just so that data never goes away, right? It's just owned. And at some point in this group's lifetime, they want to leverage that to build targeting packages to start wholesale murdering pedophiles, or putting like ads on the dark web or on Craigslist or whatever, like, hey, kill this person and we'll fucking give you 10 grand.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And to start building targeting packages for pedophiles. I mean, obviously all this is completely illegal and theoretical.
Sure.
But I would love that. I would love if pedophiles just started dying en masse across the country and no one knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Just
all
dude,
people,
and like they finally start linking all these people,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Wait a minute!" But already like millions.
it
are
would
dead.
kind of be like that show, The Hunters, that's on.
Do you like that?
It's
On Amazon?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's a good show.
the Nazi
Well,
Hunters
gory,
with
but
Al
yeah,
Pacino,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's a good show. Yeah, and it's got the dude from How I Met Your Mother and a couple of other pretty good actors.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into
That young kid that was in, or God, what the fuck was he in before? I can't remember the name.
Was
of
he
the movie.
Family on Family Ties?
No,
I'm kidding. Growing Pains.
Growing Pains. Yeah.
Remember we did that whole show? That was one of the darkest ending. That was the darkest ending of a show we've ever done.
What did I say? I don't remember.
We were talking about,
Oh,
hey
God,
man,
yeah.
you were like, man, I wonder what happened to a boner.
Oh,
From,
he killed himself.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right,
yeah. And I
then it
was
was
like, oh God. And then we
I think you
pulled it
just
up.
ended it right then.
He hung himself from like a tree in Vancouver, and like,
Oh,
we
and his
were-
friends found him like a couple days later or some
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
And we were at the end of the show, and we were like, well, good night, everyone. I think we should just leave it at that.
This kid, Percy Jackson, he was the young kid in,
That's it.
in Fury.
Yes.
Like he's the young guy in Fury. Logan Lerman's his name. He's a really good actor. So anyways, that show's good, but it's kind of like that. It's like she said, people would just start dying, and it would take a little bit of time. I don't think
For people
anybody
to
And these are
link it,
Nazis,
yeah.
right? In this show?
in the show, but yeah, I'm
hundreds,
talking
yeah.
about pedophiles, which are pretty much the same level as Nazis. They should all die.
Sure.
So that would be dope. Honestly, that'd be the best thing that could ever happen in my life if that happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If they just started dropping like flies, and it wouldn't be like, it would be impossible. You could arrest individuals if they were sloppy about the murders, but it would be impossible to stop that from happening. Because once people started seeing it happening, and then what's law enforcement really going to do about that?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
How much money? Let's say somebody let's say Trump or someone like Trump is the president of the United States. How much money and time and effort is President Trump and Attorney General Barr going to spend trying to track down people killing pedophiles?
Close to none.
Exactly.
Close
what I
to
mean?
none.
And then there would be like
No time.
fan clubs,
Oh, yeah.
followers.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Boondock
Groups.
Saints, but you're only killing fucking diddlers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kitty diddlers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm into that. I'm 100% supportive of that. Because of Brandenburg v. Ohio, I can't endorse you to go out and murder any specific person.
Right.
But if you're thinking about, look, if, like you said, if you get terminal or whatever,
Yeah.
and have nothing to lose, just go find a pedophile and murder
Just
that motherfucker,
start it.
man.
you
Start
know?
it.
And don't let's draw some pretty clear lines. Let's somebody that was 17 and fucked a 14-year-old, like that's not that bad.
Yeah, like let's.
But if you're a
Use
grown,
your head.
If you're like a teacher in New Hanover County schools, for example,
Yeah.
For example.
Like a band teacher.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
touch children that are like
12, 13 years old.
yeah or younger,
Yeah.
in his case, yeah, you got to die.
Yeah, you gotta
So-
die.
I'm just, if you get bored on the weekends, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
If your whole
Help
family
yourself.
died
Do what
in
you
a plane
want.
crash. Yeah.
Let's get to the news, shall we? First and foremost, we had yet another Democratic debate this week that was an absolute dumpster fucking fire.
I had a hard time watching because it was just so chaotic. Everybody's just yelling over each other the whole time.
Why did you have Gayle King, Oprah's best friend? By the way, you
had
want to talk about
women
somebody who's
trying
having
to
a bad
control all
month?
these people?
Mm.
Between that and the Kobe Bryant sitch, newscaster-wise, she's having a bad month.
Yeah.
It was her. It was that Nora, blonde lady. She's the new CBS news anchor. She's going up against David Muir. That's 6:30 time slots. There's the two of those little dum-dums out there trying to control 7 people who are
Out for
trying to
blood.
stab each other's eyes out 6 days before Super Tuesday.
Nora O'Donnell.
That's it.
I feel like
Yes.
it should be James Carville
Yes.
leading the pack
Oh my
there.
gosh, he's so mad.
Here's the thing about
He's
it.
so pissed right now.
They interviewed him, right?
Yeah.
He is just past the age where he knows he's not good enough to be on TV anymore because he used to be on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And he pulled himself out of the game. I'm a big fan of Carville. I enjoy his whole shit.
I've always liked him.
And
Like
he's
I obviously
very
don't agree
smart.
with him politically on a lot of stuff.
Same.
But he is a smart
You
dude.
gotta respect
Smart
him.
guy, and he's got a great personality. And
Yeah.
like, whether or not you agree with people's politics, you can respect the person.
Well, you have to be able to respect somebody like that. He's like a Stephen Hawking type. I don't mean intellect wise. I mean that he's been married to someone who is diametrically opposed to him for years.
40 years?
Stephen Hawking's wife is like a devout Christian, and Stephen Hawking was not.
He's an atheist.
Clearly
Yes,
not.
he was very like
You can't be.
He wasn't atheist. He was anti-theist. Like he thought religion was. He was like Christopher Hitchens. He thought it was harmful to people. And Carville has been married to a Republican strategist for
40 years.
40, 50 years. I don't even know.
I love that though.
What's
Yeah,
that?
that's a
I
good
love
character.
that.
That's a very good character trait of his, and that's one of the reasons I respect him is because
Same.
he's able to maintain. Like if he's able to maintain a marriage day to day for that long with someone who believes so differently from him, then he's a good human being, in my opinion.
And the difference with him, and I'm glad you brought him up for a debate like this, right, is the simple fact of if he speaks and gets in there, not only will they listen and respect him, shut the fuck up, but two, he would have literally said, hey guys, you were setting the whole party on fire tonight by this stupid shit. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Tell us what your actual policies are, what you're going to do for the country, and then go one at a time and pretend like you have some civility.
Some decorum. I mean, it went for 4 hours, so it's like you have plenty of time to get your points in. Just shut the fuck up. I feel like it should be, I don't know, like a mix of people. So somebody like Chris Matthews, who's kind of a goober sometimes, but
he's an asshole and he'll jump in.
Yeah,
there.
he'll jump in.
I'm with you.
Him and Carville, and they have a switchboard in front of them that kills the mics of everybody on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
That
at
would
any
be
point, he can just turn
fucking
the mic
great.
on and off, kind of like how on what's it called? Shit. What's that show on ESPN with the 4-person panel? With Max Kellerman
Around the
started
Horn.
out- Around the Horn, yeah. So it'd be like Around the Horn. Like,
And then you
you
get
lose
to mute
points.
the person,
You lose 2 points.
And you lose
when
points
do
for
that.
Do
what you
they
said.
always have this many debates?
They don't.
Yeah.
They do?
This,
I don't
so this
remember
started.
it
This
being
started
like this.
in
the last election cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, just because
Okay.
the ratings are so high.
All right. But I'm just saying, like, not historically,
No.
but since 2006.
Correct.
No.
The ratings have gotten so
or
high
since whatever.
with it,
I
and
think-
the demand is there. Also, I will say this:
Wasn't there a big field in 2012 against Obama? It was like Mitt Romney and
yeah. There was a ton.
a bunch of lunatics.
So I guess it depends on how many people are running.
But I don't think
Yeah.
it was the ratings were as high as it was in 2016.
No.
And Trump is probably the reason for that, to be honest.
It
Yes.
is, yeah. But they're for the Democrats. This is
Yeah.
the highest it's ever been for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Republicans, it was 2016. Democrats, it's this year. And I will say this: the candidates want it because when you're down to 7 like this, right? When you have this many eyeballs on you, this is pretty much your last chance before Super Tuesday to get your points across, your final, head poke in there. Like Elizabeth Warren has become a giraffe to me. She just pokes her head above the leaves and gets in there for 1 or 2 more points because that's it. And then because if you don't have this debate, then you're just running commercials. And let's face it, you can't beat Bloomberg in commercials. I saw 1 Klobuchar commercial during the debate. I saw 80 Bloomberg commercials.
Well, Bloomberg's he looked a lot better.
He got his legs underneath him. I will say this in this format though, it's Bernie won to me simply because he is able to yell the loudest.
Yeah.
He was the only one to be able to cut through all of these people and scream crazy Bernie, here's what I want to do. And it eventually stopped. And, I felt like 40% of the time it was just him talking shit. So I don't know. We'll see if he can be stopped. The polls, though, I've read back and forth on this. They've got Biden by 18 right now in South Carolina, which another poll had Sanders running away with it. So I don't know what's going to happen. That's on Saturday. And then Super Tuesday is on Tuesday. And my guess is Wednesday morning, Elizabeth Warren and Biden will be out by then.
I don't know. Warren said during the debate that she will stay till the better end unless
believe her.
somebody wins. plurality, a majority of the fucking delegates, she's going to stay until the convention. That's what she said last night.
The only thing, though, is you need money to do that. And
I think she has it, no?
She's got plenty of money on hand right now. I mean, by plenty, she's not going to be running Bloomberg-style TV ads,
No.
but no one in history has done that either.
But she could stay in,
like
possibly.
Bloomberg spent more in the last 2 months than Hillary Clinton spent in all of 2016.
Yeah. He's up to $425 million already.
No, that's just of his own money.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so I think in total in 2016, both candidates spent like $1.2 billion.
yes.
So it's going to be way higher than that this year.
He said he's prepared to spend $5 billion of his own money on this campaign. And look, the way I've been seeing these ads, he has a really good shot to reach that number by the end of this.
Maybe. It depends. You can poison the well too. Like if you do annoying advertising, like if it's a pop-up. Have you ever not purchased from a company because you got so mad at seeing their ads? Because that happens a lot.
I love it.
There's something called advertising fatigue.
Yeah.
That happens.
I've got it with Bloomberg already. I've seen it on everything.
I actually think he would probably be a pretty good president. Like his gun stuff is stupid, but your job as a president is to be a manager. Like we'll get to this later. Everybody's up in arms about Pence being the becoming the czar of the coronavirus situation. He's not a medical professional. He's not fucking supposed to be, dude.
They don't understand how leadership works.
Do you think Pepsi makes drinks, right? They make soda.
Yeah.
Flavored carbonated water.
Yeah.
Do you think their CEO started out in a fucking factory making drinks? Do you think he's an expert on syrup? Shut the fuck up, dude. God damn. Anyways, I'll rant about that later on. But the thing that's really interesting to me about this goes back to what you were saying about Carville is that he's one, like almost every one of these major players from previous. The one guy I haven't heard from yet is Axelrod about all this. He was Obama's campaign manager. I think he was chief of staff for a while, and then he worked at NBC and MSNBC as a commentator.
Yeah, and by the way, Dan is talking about David Axelrod, who is I would say the guy on CNN. So if you're watching any of these primaries on that panel, he's usually sitting in the middle. He's tall.
He's like the Karl
hair.
Rove of the Democratic Party,
Correct.
essentially. So I haven't heard from him yet. I'm sure he will speak out at some point. I'm surprised we haven't heard from Obama, to be honest, dispelling the socialist bullshit. But Van Jones, and Carville, now Leslie Marshall, who's a longtime Democratic strategist, are like, you guys are you're like ruining the party. They're basically like, this new movement it's a lot like the Tea Party was back in the day, but it's like infinitely more radical than they were. Like the Tea Party, just like their main thing was government accountability and shit like that. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they were crazy and they would show up with open carry rifles to marches. Like, come on, man, just relax.
Old school muskets.
Like it was. I thought the Tea Party thing was pretty stupid, but they weren't talking about essentially overthrowing capitalism. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that, and that's what our government is. That's a different kind of situation. These people are the Democratic Party. I don't know what it's going to look like in 4 years.
Look, if it's Sanders and he takes Warren as his VP,
so this would be Sanders.
Yep.
And then
if you're watching at home on YouTube, Jesse's got a medium-sized butt plug and then a smaller
Sanders,
butt plug.
Okay.
And those were sent in by Craig Dulesky.
And Reuben Snyder and Reed White.
And Reed White for my birthday. That is what the Democratic Party is. At that point, let's say AOC and those guys win another term, that gang of 8 or whatever, that becomes your party then,
squad.
essentially, and that's what you're known for. To get out of that would take years and years and years.
Yeah, like all those people that got elected during the Tea Party era, where are they now? Like Michelle Bachmann, for example.
Yeah.
She's somewhere with her eyes as wide open as she can get them.
Sarah Palin is out.
Yeah, like, all those Tea Party people are gone now.
Gone.
But
it took 8 years.
But they fucked up the Republican Party quite a bit. Like a guy
took 8 years.
like John Boehner, who was, the majority leader in Congress and the minority leader before that, he was in Congress forever, and he was a well-respected and well-liked guy. He got fucking hammered by them constantly, and it's like, if you're a Democratic person and you're a party member or whatever the fuck in the U.S., you have to think about the ramifications of electing certain types of people. Like, yeah, AOC might shake things up. Rashida Tlaib might shake things up. Whatever. Ilhan Omar. But if they're going to sit there and lob bombs at the fucking Democratic establishment all the time, we've seen recently what it does with the Tea Party. Like, key people that were deal makers. Like, Boehner was not a hardline right Republican. He was a guy that got shit done. He was like the Republican version of Tip O'Neill. Like, Newt Gingrich was a cunt back in the day.
Yeah.
He was all about grabbing power and being a dick all the time and all that shit. Before him, the majority leader was Tip O'Neill, and they got a lot of stuff done during the Reagan administration. They broke the back of Russia. They did all sorts of stuff. And what happened in the 90s? I mean, the 90s would have been pretty fucked had it not been for the internet. Like the .com boom.
It saved the economy.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been pretty bad. And then that kind of rolled into the 2000s, and it evolved from there. But none of that had anything to do with Newt Gingrich, right?
No.
And then Boehner kind of took it up. Like a lot of even when Bush was in office, as hated as he was for a certain period of time, there was still a lot of stuff getting done then. And then once Obama came in, it all shut the fuck down. And it was because of those asshole fucking dumb Tea Party people that wouldn't let it go. They fucking tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act 45 times, 46 times, something like that. And it was a complete waste of time. It was basically the equivalent of this fucking impeachment bullshit.
Right.
Like, they just wasted our money and their time. You know what I mean? So just be cognizant if you want to fucking elect some radical that can really fuck your whole system up.
Look, and if it
and
is
imagine
Bernie,
it's the president that you would do it. You know what I mean?
and if it is Bernie, and if it is Warren on that ticket, right?
He won't take Warren.
But let's say he does. Okay.
I've heard.
Then I think they're going to lose the House, and I don't think they're going to win the Senate anyways. But I think they're going to lose the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and then it's going to be a hard look in the mirror of like, oh fuck, because then Trump can do whatever he wants for 4
I mean, we
years.
talked about it the other day, but offline. But it looks like there's a very good chance that by 2024, the Supreme Court will be 6-3 in favor of conservatives.
Yep, because Ginsburg,
She's
RBG
89.
will
She's 89, and
will pass at some point.
Yeah,
she's a strong woman.
She's 90, and she's had cancer a couple times, so she's
4 times.
She's not going to live much longer. And then
the other guy's 81 years old.
Stephen Breyer. Yeah, he's 81, I think, or he's going to be 82 soon. So he's long in the tooth as well. He might be one of those ones that holds out, but that's what Scalia was trying to do too, and he ended up doing it. But he died when the Republican was in office. But it doesn't look good for the Democratic Party. Look, if you life is complicated and it doesn't go the way you want. Dennis Leary used to say everybody's whining about their lives. Like, yeah, I wanted to be the starting center fielder for the Boston Red Sox. Life sucks. Get a fucking helmet. That's what he said, and I agree with that. So you're a Democrat and you feel like socialist principles should be involved in our government, and the plurality of people say fuck that, right? If you keep pressing that, you're an idiot, honestly. Like, there's something to be said about joining a side that can actually win.
Yeah,
that's what coalitions are all about. Like, you have to concede some things. That's just the way it works in politics, in life in general. Like in a marriage or a relationship or a friendship or whatever it is, you're always making small concessions about certain things.
Yeah,
and if you don't, then it's going to fail, or you individually will fail. Something like that. So I don't know what the fuck these people are thinking.
I don't either.
Like and the really, really dumb part about it is from the politician's standpoint, not from the individual. Individuals are like, you should believe what you believe and try to get that shit done. But from the politician's standpoint, like your job is to represent the will of the people. And there may be 5 or 10 districts in the entire United States that support socialism, like total. They would be in New York, Washington State, and California. Like, there's probably a total of 10 districts where 45% or more people support some idea like that.
Yeah.
So how are you as a fucking and New Hampshire and Vermont certainly aren't socialist. I don't give a fuck what Bernie Sanders says.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps getting elected because he's been there forever, and they're all old whites up there. That's why he keeps getting elected. It has nothing to do with his goddamn socialism. Like, Vermont is not socialist. So what the fuck? So if your job is to represent the will of your constituency, that's it. For a congressperson, that's you leave your hometown, presumably. This is how it started.
Yeah.
And you go represent your hometown in Congress. You get shit done for your hometown, not for your hometown, but you get shit done for the country that represents the will of your hometown. That's the whole point of all of this. So why are so many of these people popping up that are so into this economic fucking bullshit that doesn't make any sense, first of all, but also it's not, people don't like it.
No.
It's like 17% of the entire country.
That's what's so confusing.
17% of this country supports socialism to some degree. Socialism or democratic socialism, about 17%. And we have a major presidential candidate that's a socialist. What the fuck? How is that even possible?
Yeah, it's crazy. And we actually have a congressman from Illinois who is flying in 2 weeks to do the show. And I would be curious to hear his thoughts because he lives in Illinois.
Yeah.
And that's a state that is, democratic and...
Not where he lives, but yeah, in general. The
exactly.
State is, yeah.
In general, the state is. So I'm curious his thoughts on it and why and how it all works and shakes out and what he's hearing behind the scenes. And he'll be here in a couple weeks. He's flying out, so that'll be fun. But in the meantime, look, keep your eye on Saturday, South Carolina. See if Biden's able to pull out a victory. And then obviously
right?
Super Tuesday will be complete banana dick all day long. Yeah. And you're going to have a lot of answers come Wednesday morning. And if it is Sanders who steamrolls on Super Tuesday, the Democratic Party is going to have a hard look in the mirror Wednesday morning and try to decide what they want to do.
Yeah.
I trust that they wouldn't let that happen.
That who wouldn't let what happen?
The Democratic Party.
Won't let what happen specifically?
Sanders win?
Win.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
They fucked him before, and this is the time.
Can you
to
get
pull
away
that
with fucking
back
the
out.
same guy twice?
I think so.
If I'm Sanders right now, I'm preparing a lawsuit against the DNC.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's a private organization, you can still file injunctions and say, hey, you fucked me out of this. Like this, when something represents the will of the people, becomes almost like, at least as far as the courts are concerned, it becomes almost like a de facto publicly traded company almost. You know what I mean? Kind of like public utilities and stuff like that. You can't just do stuff that fuck a bunch of people over. And fucking people over would be not representing their will in a presidential campaign because it's a public election. So I think if I'm him, I've got my legal team working on that right now. And I leak that we're working on it as well. Like I would make that available to the press because then people are a little more reticent to, I guess it kind of boxes the DNC in a little bit because people already know that he's looking into that, and it makes people suspicious. Like, oh, did he hear something? Are they already trying to fuck him over? Is he feeling the pressure already? Because he should be. Yeah, He should be feeling the pressure because CNN
everybody's
talk shit about him every single day.
Look, 60 Minutes did to his face on that interview on Sunday night
Anderson
with
Cooper.
Cooper just buried him on 60 Minutes and was like, Jesus Christ, I've never seen the media turn on their own party candidate.
It was weird, man.
It's really weird.
It's not hard to do, though. You get him talking, and he starts fucking...
Yeah, he was praising Fidel Castro.
You know
on
what I
60
mean?
Minutes,
Like, that's all
again,
he
we were
really...
just like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
And then the interview popped up with the wife on Russian TV. His wife was on Russian TV 4 years ago. That interview's been played everywhere now, and that was trending for the last 2 days. I was like, why the fuck did she go on Russian TV?
Dumb.
That was also their honeymoon. They went to Moscow for their honeymoon.
Interesting.
It's strange.
It's gorgeous, though. It's gorgeous there.
To his credit, motherfucker just had a... Yeah, it is not.
No,
it's
not. It
is the northern part of Michigan in the winter.
You mean the UP?
Yeah.
The Upper Peninsula?
Yeah. That is a gray area up there where it is a bleak. Culture. The only thing I'll say to cap this off is Sanders just had a heart attack. What, 4 months ago? 2 stints. He's 79 years old, and he was still able to cut through this bullshit at the debate and make his. Let me talk about this.
I know.
I'm surprised he's still alive.
He's the only person, the only one of those old whites whose health I'm not actually concerned about.
Oh, for sure.
Because people keep talking shit about his health. Like CNN dropped an article about it yesterday. Here are why doctors are. They dropped one about Trump too, by the way. That like the headline just says, "Here are why doctors are concerned about Trump." Doctors, like you mean this one dude that you found?
Yeah.
He's
my friend
he's like a doctor
in the neighborhood.
He's like
a
fucking doctor of history or some shit like that. Like, here's why I'm concerned. They're so full of shit. I hate everybody.
So do I. And look, nobody's going to live longer than an old Jew. You know?
So true. That's
A rich one,
angry.
yeah.
An angry,
An
Jew.
angry old
So
Jew.
forever, he'll live into his 90s, maybe
he does.
100 years old.
I mean, he's like the liberal version of Ron Paul, honestly.
Yeah.
Ron Paul's been talking shit lately too, by the way. Like, just
Look, he's entertaining.
let's get out of here.
And for protests and stuff, go for it.
You're talking about Ron Paul or Bernie?
Bernie.
I think they should have a
Just
debate.
not for presidency.
It'd be great.
They should have like not even a debate, just fight. Remember,
just straight up
remember
fight.
old school where Blue like got in the fucking wading pool and
Died.
wrestled those girls and
Yeah.
died? That would be
Oh,
really
yeah.
funny if they
One
had,
of those two would die.
Oh yeah, for
During
sure.
that fight,
They
for
should.
sure.
We should have to. I honestly think you should have to fist fight to win the presidency.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you have to like. It's like what is that called?
Jesse the Body Ventura would have been president for 2 terms.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, he was a professional wrestler. That's not really a real thing. I mean, he was a UDT guy back in the day, but Chris Kyle also knocked him out in the bar. So
No shit.
yeah,
I don't know that
didn't hear
story.
about that. Yeah,
No.
he got sued, or he sued Chris Kyle's family after that. His
You're
wife
kidding.
after Chris Kyle was dead. Oh yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Jesse.
That's for another show. Let's do a show on that.
Jesse.
Next up, Trump campaign suing the New York Times. Suit seeks millions of dollars in damages for what it claimed was the Times' false claims that the Trump campaign had a conspiracy with Russia during the 2016 election. It's funny. Yesterday we spoke with Hamid Jassim in an episode. I think this is going to air Sunday evening at 8 o'clock about ABC's recent embarrassment in the terms of what happened to their journalist David Wright. That guy. Well, look, I'm not even going to shit on him. He was just having an honest conversation, and it was recorded.
Yeah, there's
outside
nothing
of-
wrong with what he. I mean, he said
No.
he said he's a socialist. I think that's fucking dumb. But
But he was having a normal
he
conversation,
called-
and it was secretly
he
recorded.
called Trump a dick,
Secretly
which
recorded.
is true. Trump is a dick.
Sure.
Can
we're
be.
all, we're all dicks.
Yeah, we're all dicks.
So I don't know.
Here's why this is interesting to me. When a president sues the New York Times, especially a paper that is teetering,
Yeah.
For those of you
Yeah.
who live in New York, you know exactly where the New York Times building is. There is about 3 floors left that actually belong to the New York Times. The rest of it is sold.
At this point, there may only be 3 little cubicles.
Yeah, and the
Available.
only thing that is propping the New York Times up these days is actually their podcast.
Yeah.
The podcast is actually the one generating the most income right now for the Times because they're charging $1 a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, after you read the first 10 articles, it's $1 a month. It's like that's not a business model that's sustainable for a long time. Does this knock them out? And how ironic would it be if Trump, his lawsuits were the one that actually took down the New York Times for good because they couldn't afford it anymore?
Well,
because this happened with Gawker and Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I doubt he's going to win this. But you never know. I mean, that kid, what's his name? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, the one who the Indians were taunting.
Yeah, the white kid who smirked and then got trashed by
He won every fucking.
Well, he's won 1 out of the 3
Yeah,
so far, but it's
yeah.
like he's going to end up with probably $50 million after all this, to be honest. So maybe if he won, Trump can win too. The thing that's interesting to me, what we were talking to Hamidi about, was what recourse do we have as the public towards an organization whose primary function is to provide news coverage, who constantly uses their influence to misinform people. And with this ABC thing, we see that that's true. And with the Russian collusion thing with the liberal media, and I hate to say the phrase liberal media because it's such a trope, but it's become reality at this point. Like, what's the recourse against that? Like, there's no penalty. You print something false, and yeah, you can get sued for libel, I guess, but usually you print a retraction. And if you print a retraction before a lawsuit happens, your lawsuit is not really going to be that great.
Well, the problem is they haven't printed a retraction for this.
No, they won't for this. But I'm saying
No.
in general, typically what they do, they'll print a retraction on from page 6 on in the newspaper. And digital, it's difficult. They can just bury it anywhere on the site. Like, oh, we printed this retraction. But that doesn't stop the damage that it's done. And again, they're like you said, they haven't even printed a retraction for this. So what is our recourse as a society? Like, at what point does the executive or the executive branch get involved. I don't mean the president. I mean like law enforcement, like the SEC or FEC or FCC or FCC, whomever it is, get involved in like, hey, well, I meant the SEC as well, because some of these companies are owned by conglomerate media groups.
Correct, and they're publicly traded companies.
Yeah, like it's printing false shit under that flag to me seems like it should be penalized by law somehow. But I don't know what that looks like. You don't want to set up a system where whomever the next president can come in and just start arresting journalists, because that's what happens to Saudi Arabia and shit like that. Right. But there has to be some kind of penalty for doing, like, people tried to fucking Facebook paid massive fines. Oh yeah, for allowing Russian bots and blah 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 and all this other horse shit to happen on their platform.
Was it 400 million or something?
It was
like
a lot
that?
Of money. Yeah. It was more than they paid in taxes, because they paid zero in taxes.
Zero.
But yeah, I mean, there's been recourse against them for interfering with elections and shit like that, even though it was unintentional on their part. It was just negligence on the New York Times part and Washington Post and CNN. It's not negligence. They're doing it on purpose, and ABC apparently as well. Like, they are literally cherry picking stories that fit their narrative and putting them out on their media network to, like, what's the purpose? It's not just to sell advertising, it's to influence elections. Yeah. So at what point do you become culpable legally for that? That's interesting to me. Maybe suing them is the only way to deal with it.
My question is, who pays for this? So, because I can't remember a president.
It's his campaign. It's not
suing.
Him.
Okay.
The campaign is suing.
Got it.
Yeah, because he can't sue anyone.
He can sue personally. Yeah.
Oh,
he can even as president. Yeah, I wondered that.
Yep.
Also, I was looking up on YouTube. The Daily, Jess, you know more about this than I do. They don't do a video show for that. They just do audio and audio only. Huh?
Audio only every day. Drop at like 5 or 6 in the morning.
How long are their episodes?
Half an hour.
So it's just a half-hour morning show. Is essentially what they're doing, and that's what's propping them up. And no video. That's because I couldn't find it on YouTube, which is what I was looking for.
They do mostly like personal. I don't know, like how do you say it? Like personal interest pieces. I don't know. And then right at the end, they'll be like, "Here's what else you need to know. Trump fucking sucks. All right, bye." Like they won't really say. It's not really like the news. I think probably because they get in trouble for that shit. So it's more like, let's talk to the family of someone that is making their money from coal and really get to know them. And so you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, Trump was golfing during blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course.
You know that bullshit? And then they just like stop it.
Yep.
So that you're left with this like, what?
Yeah.
So they're
no,
really...
I mean, you can see it. Like, there was a recent example of it live on television with Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. The moderator said, "Did you say this?" Or she asked Elizabeth Warren, "Hey, did he say this?" And she goes, "Yeah." And he's like, then she asked Bernie, "Did you say it?" He's like, "No." And he goes, "Okay, so when you said it."
Yeah. It's like, hey, man.
Like, you can. It's very easy to even to subtly lead the conversation exactly where you want it to go, and you have to have some kind of journalistic integrity. I feel like, honestly, there's got to be some kind of board or governing body outside of the government that doesn't like the fact that the SEC and FCC can take gifts from the people that they moderate. For example, like the FCC is taking millions of dollars in gifts from media companies in the United States over the last 25 years.
Yeah,
millions of dollars. Like golf, somebody did a report on it, and everyone's just like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? Because the media companies aren't going to turn on themselves. It's like asking Congress to fucking decrease their own pay. I don't think so, brother.
No, that's not going to happen.
So, what's the? I don't know what the recourse there is. Like, I feel like more and more, I'm leaning towards one of Milo's theories, which is that our entire government should be run by people who are so wealthy and out of touch with reality that they're making independent decisions, not based because they don't their own. Like Mike Bloomberg doesn't. Yep. He's not making. He believes this shit. I promise you that. He's going to spend $5 billion in this campaign. He fucking believes it.
Right.
He's got $100 billion. He's not going to spend $5 billion to make another $100 billion. Doesn't make any sense. Like that. That's crazy.
He's 79 too.
Like, yeah, he doesn't give 2 fucks about that. He's doing this shit because he believes in it.
Yep.
I respect that. I respect that more than somebody like Nancy Pelosi, who's made hundreds of millions or tens of millions of dollars, but just because of her position in Congress.
Yeah.
Like that, not that I'm a fan of Bloomberg or anything, but I respect that way more. And I think that the fact that he is separated at arm's length from reality, as we call it, like the everyday struggle of the working man, or whatever the fuck however you want to phrase that, is a good thing. Mm-hmm. Like it gives you can't get emotional about shit. That's why the whole gun debate, and we'll get to that again in a second because of this Milwaukee shit, but you can't get emotional about issues.
But that's all New York Times does if we're still talking about them. Like,
well, everybody, all news agencies do that now. They're just predators. They're emotional predators, basically.
Yeah.
So it's all pieces about like one individual story where you're just like, yeah, I mean, there are exceptions, but like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mostly so that they don't get in trouble. Like, yeah,
we should have
true.
We should have drank 40s on the show today because it's episode 40 of the fake news.
God damn
really?
it.
Man,
I would have done Edward 40 hand.
No, you would not have done
Yeah,
that.
you
I would not allow that.
Why?
Because you can drink maybe 2 glasses of wine.
So many glasses? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Because you can drink
I'll have whatever's left
so
of this.
many glasses?
2 glasses of wine. You're not drinking 80 ounces of malt goddamn liquor, Jesse. That's just not happening.
I've done it before.
If you did, you'd probably end up on a ghost bed.
You would end up on a ghost bed.
I ended up in a corner with 40s duct taped to my head.
Yeah. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. 25% off everything in the entire store. Pillows, mattresses, sheets, adjustable bases. You name it, 40% off. 25% off.
What are you fucking laughing about?
I said 40 because you're Edward 40 hands, you dirty fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about like doing that.
You ruined the whole show.
Off.
Oh, you're thinking about going Edward 40 hands now?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about like what if that was your everyday like drinker, you know what I mean? Like kids are there, you're like, all right.
Well, Leroy,
you know, it's 5.
My 40, yeah.
Leroy Petrie showed up at Black Rifle just out of nowhere yesterday.
Yeah.
You guys remember him from,
Medal of Honor recipient?
Being a Medal of Honor recipient, getting his other arm blown off
in range 15.
So he showed up at Black Rifle yesterday, and he just had a knife attached to his fucking arm.
Oh,
really?
That's amazing.
That's
like
what
apparently you can just walk around with a fucking blade out. I I don't know.
Well, what are they going to say?
As long as if you're wearing the Medal of Honor, who's going to say anything about
exactly.
it?
He's going to be here. He's speaking at UNCW. We got to get him on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll get him on. I've got this plan.
Oh,
I'm a big Evil Dead fan. I want to get a chainsaw on that thing. Like
that'd be great.
Like Ash from Evil Dead.
I feel like he would do it. If anyone would do it, he would
yes.
do it.
Yeah. He would do it.
Yeah.
He's
and he would just like
rad.
sport it all the time.
And so is ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. They're also rad. 25% off everything in the entire store. And as always, with the pay-as-you-go program, 36-month, no interest, that 25% is still good. I don't know how they're making money at Ghostbed, but good for our listeners. We've gotten a fuck ton of people with Ghostbeds taking pictures and stories and all of this shit. Buy away, my man.
And my offer
still
stands.
They're going to do it. Take advantage of it.
My offer still stands. If you can prove that you conceived your child on a ghost bed, I will buy you a new one.
Yes. So
I personally
you want to see video, and you can send that into Drinkin Bros Podcast on Instagram or our Facebook page, and Dan will review all of your sexual acts to confirm that indeed you did have a bed on, or you have a baby on a ghost bed.
Yep.
So.
Best Dan quote was like, "I'll watch anyone have sex with anyone
for any
anytime,
reason.
For any reason. Yeah, anywhere."
It's interesting. You know how Chuck Palahniuk in Fight Club said you don't really know somebody until you fight them.
Yeah.
I believe you don't know someone until you see them have sex.
You watch them fuck.
Not
that
have
could
sex
be
with them.
true. Yeah, not have sex with them,
but see them
do
having
it.
sex.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah.
You learn a lot about
and
a
then
person.
travel.
You learn a lot about it, especially if they don't know you're watching.
Oof. The weird thing about
what weirder than that?
No.
Weirder than that?
I think you would learn a lot about people.
I don't want to watch fuck.
I think you maybe would learn a lot about people if you watch them masturbate. Maybe.
Yeah.
A solo, no one's around.
Yeah.
Do they know you're watching?
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to know, but I think you would know.
What's the weirdest shit that you do?
So I had a buddy. Wait, hang on.
Oh, he was like, not you.
Did I do?
No.
He said, not me.
I know the weirdest shit you do. What's the weirdest shit you do?
Strangulation. I had a buddy of mine.
In Missouri, at least. strangulation. You got to be on the policy for 2 years before you can file an insurance claim.
2 years. Keep that in mind,
really?
kids. Yeah, keep that in mind.
We'll find out about here so you can start filing
We
claims.
had a buddy who was
we've had
just
it
like,
for
hey,
2
man,
years.
I've been dating this girl. You want to watch me have sex with her? You know, come down and watch. And he would leave the window shades up and he'd be like, we always fuck between 2 and 4. So, because that's when I get off work. And if you just want to roll down and watch, you know.
When was this? What?
This was in college. And so he had I can say this now. He was in the FBI.
Okay.
And he was stationed on a college campus. It was
You
the
can always
greatest
say that.
job of all time, right?
Yeah.
And he was just fucking all these college girls, good looking dude in shape and all that other shit. The wildest thing about it was like, so we would just casually walk down there with like a Subway or something, you know, like a 6-inch, snack it outside the window and watch and, you know, have a good hearty chuckle about it. And it was one of those things. Ended up marrying this girl.
That's awesome. Good for him. I mean, obviously they found something like I don't think a person like that would have done that without her knowing about it. As a matter of fact,
that's what I always wondered.
If I had to guess, I would say that it was her kink and he was playing along with it.
Possibly.
That would be my guess.
Maybe.
Because that's a very common one with women. So women domination, obviously, some of them have like a quasi rape fantasy. Like Bernie is a big fan of that apparently. But
Sanders?
Yeah.
Really?
There was some fucking audio that leaked recently where he said, "Yeah, every woman's got a rape fantasy," some shit like that. You didn't hear that?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
At any rate, one of the for dudes, it's feet is one of the weirdest but most common kinks. Like they're super into feet. For women, it's that like being voyeuristic shit, like being watched and shit like that.
Okay.
Like I'm sure we've all dated women that try to grab your dick in public all the time, shit like that. That's one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Validation. They want people to give a fuck about them. Maybe they're Instagram models. Who knows, brother?
Yeah, it's definitely an insecurity thing.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? What's the weirdest thing you do when you jack off?
The weirdest thing I do?
Yeah.
What is the weirdest thing that I do?
You keep a thing of cookie dough next to you, and you'll eat the cookie dough.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, I just remember during the small hands interview, you got really butthurt that she was into something. What was it? Getting tied up
that
or
I
some
would
shit?
watch
or BDSM stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that I would watch like bondage stuff.
Wait, I want to clarify this.
You were so mad.
I was
mad.
I was mad because I would have choked the shit out of her. Like if like.
Oh
but
yeah.
you know, I don't have time. Like I don't have the time to.
It doesn't
invest
take that much time, Jesse.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
tie someone
No,
up.
that part is stupid.
I'll fucking spit
To
on
tie
you. I'll
up
choke
and like
you. Like we're
do the whole
fine.
dungeon shit. I
No,
mean, it's just like
that's-
so much investment.
There's no. I don't feel like you can be an adult with a real job and do that. It just
No.
takes too much time. Maybe like
takes too much
a couple
time.
times a year you go down to fucking Fire Island if you're gay, or what's the
Yeah.
Sure.
hedonism too?
Yes.
If you're
Yes,
straight,
yes.
and just get weird like that. Maybe a couple times a year, maybe once a year.
Yeah.
But if that's how you get off, man, that would suck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I need to be gurgling some kind of like
Oh, here we go.
mouthwash.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, or brushing my teeth. It's just the only way.
Wait, that's how you come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So
you're
like
gargling,
while I'm
gargling, not gurgling. Gurgling is like a death sound.
Yeah. Gargling.
Gargling. Okay.
Unless you
What did I say?
Gurgling. Yeah, you said gurgling.
It's still a
gar-
word. It's still a word, but gurgling has a negative connotation.
That or
Jesse.
like a hot like salt water kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a neti pot.
Yeah.
Just pour it into your nose and then gargle it and spit it out.
After being
while you're
doing
getting blasted.
some kind of something like this.
Some mundane activity.
Yeah, in order to get off. But yeah, you were really mad about the bondage
You were
thing.
you were so mad about it.
Because
So
I would
mad.
fucking tie you up and spit on you. Like if like that's what you're
I
into.
don't really want that though. We've already been over
I
it.
understand.
So is it
but,
like-
I had to explain it to
it
you.
wasn't an
I'll
anger
explain
about it.
here.
It was more of less like a jealousy of like, Jesus, dude, I'll choke the shit out of people. Like, yeah, let's get this.
It's like
get
you've
and
been
like
you've been
have like a
prete-
choking thing is not bad, but yeah.
you've been pretending this whole time.
Oh, and
just
that's
like
what
you
he thought.
pretended to be Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just must be like ingrained in me.
Yeah. To
Wow.
pretend.
Dan was very surprised at how recently I found out I was.
I thought it was like in your early 20s. you
No,
found out.
dude, this was like 2 months ago.
It wasn't 2 months ago.
It was-
but
it
it was
was-
recent in recent years.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
last year.
Last year.
So
Anyway.
I knew you
Yes.
when you found out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the
No.
first time we
No,
ever
no,
met,
no.
You fully knew.
the first time we met, you still thought you were Mexican.
Yes. Yes. I'm 100%.
You
She did.
dumb bitch.
But I will say it was her mom. Her mom was just like, that's our heritage, you know. I was like, eh. And then her mom got the 23andMe, and that's when she was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
We're nothing. We
That's
really
really funny. What the
Mexican.
fuck are we talking about?
Next
not
up,
sure.
Pope Francis calls on Catholics to give up trolling for Lent.
No, that's all I do, Pope. Sorry, brother.
Yeah.
Like if I gave up trolling people for Lent, I would literally not do anything.
Which is
wow.
what Lent is all about.
No, it's not. It's about giving up something that's important to you.
Trolling is the most important thing to you.
Yeah, but it's all I do also. That'd be like me giving up
believe.
drinking water or sleeping. Like, no, it's not happening, brother.
Yeah.
That's all, literally the only joy I get out of life.
I believe that.
This fucking guy is supposed to be the cool Pope, you know? He's got Twitter. He rolls around in that special... Yeah, it rolls around the special car and all this shit. I feel like this is just another thing where he's like, oh, man, let's try to be cool with people. And it's like, hey, man, we already saw you slap that woman a couple months ago. She got a little handsy with you, and you freaked the fuck out. You're not the cool Pope. You're not Jude Law on the HBO show.
Who I heard has a very small penis.
What?
Yep.
Well, Barnes Courtney raised his child for a couple of years.
Yeah, which is sweet.
That's right. But I heard he's on the list. There's a list that got put out. But anyway.
Shit, where is
what?
it? I want to see the
It's on
penis
demands,
list?
yeah. So there's like penis size list of obviously Ben Affleck is in the bigger
Leonardo DiCaprio is in there too.
Yeah,
he's got a hog,
in the little
No,
one.
he's the little. He's got a little.
What?
wiener,
Yeah, and Tom Hardy, which we've seen.
We've seen Tom Hardy's
little
dick.
witch's finger.
Yeah, he's got a little witch's
baby
finger.
witch's finger.
Liam Neeson is apparently got a big
But that
cock.
makes sense, right?
Liam Neeson. So, by the way, Liam Neeson has the biggest dick in Hollywood.
And
Well,
why are you emphasizing
Michael
that?
Fassbender is listed as the biggest penis in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. So, top three, Fassbender.
Growers to showers, right?
Jesse, you got to go to the microphone. Top three, Neeson, Fassbender, and John Hamm.
John Hamm is
There's
not
your
on
top
that
three,
list.
guys, if you really want to know.
John
That's
Hamm
what
is
it
not
is.
on that list. David Spade is not on the list.
David Spade's got a hog on him, too. And that
Anyways, I
was
just
confirmed
thought
by
it
his
was-
girlfriend.
Shia LaBeouf is got a small dick apparently. I mean, look,
Jude Law was the one that kind of surprised me only because
Terrence
he
Howard,
has so much confidence.
Eric Stoltz, Jeffrey Rush. No one's gonna fuck any of these people anyways.
Jeffrey
It's just
Rush.
interesting.
Eric Balfour. I don't even know who that is.
I know Eric.
Is he like French Canadian?
No.
Shia LaBeouf really surprised me.
He's got
too.
like a Scottie Pippen
he's
nose.
the worst actor of all time. He looks like fucking
Scottie Pippen.
a little bit, yeah.
A white Scottie Pippen, yeah.
a little bit.
Or Simon
He's a
Rex.
big dude. I'm surprised he has a small penis. He's like 6'3".
Well,
in
maybe
real life.
that's it. I doubt anybody actually has measured these guys' dicks. He's tall. He's like, isn't Balfour like fucking 6'4", 6'5" or something?
Yeah, that's what I say. He's like 6'3",
So he's probably
6'4".
just got a normal sized dick, and it doesn't look like a huge hog on a 6'4".
Maybe
not
I met a girl.
proportion.
I met a girl in LA who fucked Shaq, and she said, "Well, his dick was smaller than I thought," and was like, "Well, he's 7'3", like,
And he wears a size like 22 shoes.
yeah. So anything on a body that big is gonna look disappointing.
Like, how big did you want it to be?
yeah,
Yeah,
I have a
exactly.
fucking horse cock. But the Pope shit. Look, man, stop being cool. Just shut the fuck up and live in that.
Here's
thing.
what he said. He said, we live in an atmosphere polluted by too much verbal violence, which, all right, too many offensive and harmful words, which are amplified by the internet. Today, people insult each other as if they were saying good day. Yeah, Frank, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Good day.
How about we get a grip on all the priests who were touching kids? How about that? How
Yeah,
about we
no
work
shit.
on that rather than your
How about for
fucking
Lent,
anti-trolling?
You give up touching kids.
Yeah, that'd be
Would
a
that
nice
be a
thing.
good one?
That'd be a good one. Let's start with there. You know who doesn't touch kids? The fine people at BlackRifleCoffee.com, our next sponsor. A lot of people don't know they are staunch against pedophiles.
Yeah, they're not racist. So
Nope.
you can, if no matter what your race or gender is, you can still buy their products.
Yeah.
And they don't touch children.
Fun
As a matter of
fact.
fact, they've given quite a bit of money to the what's it called? Project Underground Railroad or some shit like that. I can't remember the name of it. It's a bunch of former Navy SEALs and intelligence officers that work with governments all over the world to prevent sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
Yeah,
Another thing
they
too.
were against pedophilia like before it was cool.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
it was cool. And you know, with the name Black Rifle Coffee, it's three white owners of that, and they decided to still name their company Black
And
Rifle
that's
Coffee. That's how anti-racist they are. So go there, support their company, Buy their products, their gear, their coffee is some of the finest in the land. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use the promo code Drinkin Bros 20, and you can get all the goods. They got a bunch of new apparel there.
I'd be surprised if you don't have Black Rifle stuff right now.
I would too.
Like if I run into you and you see the show and you don't have it,
and if you
I'd be very surprised.
If you have Pedo Bear stickers at home and you want to stick it on the bags of coffee when it gets delivered to your house, feel free. Let people know that the coffee you drink is Pedo Bear friendly. Right?
Sure.
You betcha. Next up, there was a shooting in Milwaukee yesterday. This was at the beer plant, man.
Dan's still on the list, by the way.
Yeah, you're still looking at those dicks.
Here are the big dick people.
Okay.
Colin Farrell, Ewan McGregor. I was wrong about that. I read the article part wrong. So Ewan McGregor does have a big cock on him.
Great, yeah.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, he's got a hammer.
Vincent Gallo. His dick's not that big. I watched, what's her name?
Brown Bunny.
It's not?
It's a normal sized dick.
It's
like 6 or 7 inches. That's a normal size white man dick.
Yeah, it's a decent size. Right? It's fat though.
Yeah, it is. Girth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
girthy.
I'm a fan of that.
Sure.
Robert De Niro?
No.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Ben Affleck, Omar Epps. I mean, that's cheating.
Ben Affleck, we know.
Black.
Jason Segel, obviously from.
That's a normal sized dick.
I know. Well,
forgetting
these are
Sarah Marshall,
growers,
I think his dick was out.
Okay.
Liam Neeson and Michael Fassbender is.
You can bump up
for some reason.
Fassbender
has an extra check mark or box next to his name. I don't know.
There's a reason for it.
He's got
there is a nude scene. If you Google it, Fassbender nude, you can see his hog.
You can see it like between his legs there.
Yeah,
he's got a nice butt too.
Yeah.
If you're into that, if you're
into
dudes' butts.
I'd like to see that list.
What, dudes' butts?
Dudes' butt list.
Anyways.
No.
Anyways, there was a shooting in Milwaukee yesterday. Raises serious questions about Democratic positions on gun control. Yesterday, 5 people were killed after an employee was fired earlier in the day, came back to the Miller Brewery with 2 handguns. One of the handguns had a suppressor on it. We're still waiting on all the facts, obviously, but if it was his, this guy had to go through a lot of efforts and background checks to acquire it. This is evidenced by the, only 150 cases between 1995 and 2004 involving them. The premise is that stricter background checks would somehow prevent these kinds of attacks, and frankly, that is just ludicrous.
Well, I mean, it's obviously not true.
Yeah.
Like if we're presuming that this, like, look, you can't just go buy a suppressor anywhere.
No.
Because
you can't roll down to Walmart and get a suppressor.
No, you have to file, like it takes, actually right now, it takes forever, but you have to buy tax stamps, get background checks. If you're a seller of them, you have to have class 3 licenses, and the fucking record. Richard Ryan can tell you that the record keeping for all that bullshit is a pain in the ass. He gets audited once a year. Like it's so anyways, not to get down in the weeds, but if the if the premise is that, like the Democratic Party's premise is that stricter background checks are going to keep these types of weapons out of people's hands, it's just not true. Because a background check it only tells you so much. It only tells you that someone essentially has not been caught doing anything yet. Look at Aldrich Ames or any of the fucking hundreds at this point of FBI agents, NSA, CIA people, and the ones you've never heard of that have turned, that have sold secrets or whatever the case is. All those people were the most background checked people on earth. By one of the most, like, I've done this. I've done background checks for both at a private company and for the federal government. So, and I've been the subject of background checks as well to gain clearances and all of the bullshit. It only provides you with a glimpse of that information. So the idea that, like, we need stricter background checks, what does that really mean? Honestly, what does that mean? Like psychological testing? And how is that not a violation of the Fourth Amendment? Like if the Second Amendment says I have the right to own a gun, you can't do an unnecessary or unreasonable search on me to quantify my eligibility for this constitutional right. That is not how goddamn life works, motherfucker.
Right.
All right. So this is one of their 2 large premises. One, that certain guns shouldn't even exist, which we know is fucking stupid as well, right? Because, God damn it, I didn't put the note down, but I was reading an article that recent research from a It wasn't a conservative group. It was not a non-political, an apolitical group. Excuse me. Did like 15 years worth of research on assault rifles and found that the assault rifle ban literally prevented nothing. Like, it didn't prevent shit. No crime went down because of it. There's no fucking, even rifle gun deaths didn't change because of it. It's bullshit. Like, the people who fucking take assault rifles and go shoot other people with them are going to find them or some other weapon somehow.
Yeah, and that was my biggest takeaway from yesterday, especially with this suppressor, knowing how difficult it is to get. If somebody wants to cause harm and go out and get all of this shit, they're going to find a way. And
67% of all gun deaths are suicide. It is a mental health issue. Like, if you're not prepared to deal with that fact, and the play there is not to deal with gun-related mental health issues. It's to deal as a country with mental health issues. That's why our homeless shit is out of control. Mm-hmm. That's why all these shootings are happening. It's mental health issues. So what are we doing about that? Why are you, like Elizabeth Warren in the debate last night said she's going to quote-unquote go after gun dealers and manufacturers because of these shootings. What the fuck are you going to, what's the purpose of that?
Yeah.
The gun operated as intended. And it is the federal government's job to make sure that fucking crazy people don't get guns, not the gun dealer.
Right.
That's not their job. They didn't create the goddamn the Brady bill or the gun registry into that shit. Like, that doesn't that. How could you sue? How could you find liable a gun dealer who followed the rules set out by the government, issued a weapon to this person, and then that person committed a crime? Like, that's retarded, and she is a retarded person.
Well, she'll be out on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. She's going to keep spending money.
I don't know if she has it. I got a thing for her today. She was asking for $2 today in one of the ads on Twitter. Okay. That'll lead us to our next sponsor, VinceroWatches.com. I'm wearing the bad boy right now.
Yeah, I got one on 2.
Jamie, you can go to 1 on this one and then flash back to 2. Look at that. Boom, boom. Look at these guys. Huh?
Gorgeous.
This is the blue steel. What's the name of yours?
Rogue.
Yeah, you got the Rogue one.
Rogue is Rogue's got the what do you call it? The rubber band.
Rubber grip,
it's not rubber. It's something else.
Rubberized.
Whatever it is.
It's nice, dude.
Vulcanized rubber.
It's nice. Look, if you're looking for an affordable watch out there, and this is heavy. This is a heavy fucking watch. Look, you need a nice watch in this world for most shit that you do. Meetings, dates, you name it. And plus, or if let's say that's your kink, dude. You got this on your wrist while you jack off. You need a nice watch. You can't get off without a nice watch on your wrist.
Saw a funny anecdote the other day. I don't know if it's true or somebody's made it up or not, but it's like the guy's Apple Watch was connected to his computer, some shit like that, or they were sharing their activities. You know how, like, if you have an Apple Watch, you can share your activities.
Was his heart rate going up?
No, well, his heart rate went up and his steps went from like 2,000 to 6,000 really fast. And his wife was in the other room, and she like texted him from the other room, like, "Hey, what are you doing in there? Your steps just went up like 4,000." So don't put your Apple Watch in your dominant hand is the solution to that. By
Exactly. Instead, get a Vincero watch.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that with Vincero.
You don't have to worry about that bullshit. Nobody's tracking you on that. Affordable, amazing watches. We've partnered with them for the next 3 to 4 months on this. Go to VinceroWatches.com. Use the promo code Drinkin Bros for 15% off. A ton of cool fucking shit there. Yeah. It's one of those sites you can just go down the rabbit hole and just pick your favorite. That is VINCERO watches.com. VINCERO watches.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 15% off at VinceroWatches.com. Huge fan of those guys. Next up, we got a mini moon now orbiting the Earth.
This is really dope. I was reading about this last night.
Yeah.
So, there's basically like a 6 to 12 foot asteroid that's orbiting the Earth right now, and it's only the second time we've ever detected something like that since we've been detecting things like that. I think it's super cool. I'm a little suspicious. I think it might be an alien spy or something like that. I know you don't want to hear this.
I always lean towards aliens.
Yeah,
Jesse never wants to hear it.
I feel like it's an alien spy of some sort, and it makes me. I don't know if I've ever said this on the show before, but I've got this plan.
Okay.
It doesn't look. Just bear with me. It's weird.
Okay.
I want to build a wall between the Earth and the moon to keep out space Mexicans.
Yes, yes. Which are
that's
very,
a
very,
rampant.
very, very close to taking over the.
They'll steal earthian jobs, and they don't pay taxes.
Sky jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like when we start building the International Space Station out further, what do we? I mean, we're just gonna let aliens do that? No. So build a wall, big wall.
Yeah.
And we'll make them pay for it.
Yep.
Between the Earth and the Moon, is that fine?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to see the moon anymore, which is kind of like whatever. But
do you need to?
No, I've seen it.
Yeah. Like once you've seen it
just
for
paint,
this many years,
paint
it's
a better looking moon on the front of the fucking wall, and I'll see that.
Closer.
Or make it a big digital wall, and we can see whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Like once
green screen wall.
Well,
exactly.
You can do green screen. But once a day or so, you can just put on a movie.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my gosh, there
why
you
not?
go.
Yeah.
Anytime there's anything about aliens in the news, it just says "Shut up, Jesse."
Yeah, because you're a fucking naysayer.
Always.
Sorry.
There was an article last week that I was going to add in where these scientists collectively said that because like the Earth is so young compared to all the other galaxies around, even just in like our local group, it's so young that if aliens were here, their technology would probably be so sophisticated and their evolutionary state would be so sophisticated we wouldn't even know that it's an alien.
Yeah, he's saying that they were like living among us.
They are. I believe.
I don't know if living among us would be the right, but maybe it's just like maybe it's just energy or some shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't know about it.
Anybody who drinks the lime White Claws is an alien among us. Those are terrible.
They're not great, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
but they're good. They're good with
ones.
mixers. If you put like Strike Force or something.
Yeah, you gotta use it as a mixer or vodka. But you don't drink those.
I wouldn't
straights.
even go straight vodka with it. I've done that, and I still end up adding a lime or some lime juice to it.
Do you really?
It doesn't have enough lime flavor. That's the why I don't like it, because I like bubbly and LaCroix lime.
I do too.
Versions.
There's not enough flavor in the lime White Claws.
They just gotta pump those numbers up a little bit and build that wall.
They do. There's an LA company that is now cloning house pets. That's Viagen. A biotech firm will clone your pets for $50K for people who can't let go of their pets. This has actually been going on for a while, and the first one to do it was fucking Streisand, dude. She's been cloning her pets since the 80s, so she's on her third of the same dog. Dan, you have a dog. Would you do this for $50K?
No. No, the point of having the dog is to get the individual personality of the dog. You know what I mean? Like, I don't spend a whole lot of time training my dogs to do stuff. They're more or less obedient, but if I wanted a working dog, I would have got a working dog. I want a dog that's retarded little character.
Sure.
That's why I get little dogs, because they're just fucking dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're smart, but they're like cat smart. They're kind of like obnoxious about their... Like, I can see that you clearly understand what I'm asking you to do, and you're not doing it. And that reminds me of myself. That's what I like to see. Like, you want to see yourself in your pet. So, no, I like the individuality of each new pet that I get.
Obviously, so you don't want the same thing over and over again.
And I don't understand how...
I'm with you on this, by the way.
I don't understand this. Like, the company is saying that... let's see. No, one of the ladies that got the dog... or got a clone dog, said that, like, it is genetically identical. Obviously, it's a clone. But, like, personality supposedly is identical as well. I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, that doesn't make... Like, if you... Like, twins, for example, often have, like, completely different personalities.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the movie with Schwarzenegger and DeVito.
All the crap totally left over. That's what DeVito was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the same personality. They play.
Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. I'd
like to. Look,
here's the quote from the woman. She goes, "They have the same personality. They play the same. They favor the same toys. All that stuff."
I think it would just be fucking creepy.
It'd be creepy, yeah.
A little creepy. You know what the weirdest thing about this is this company is in Koreatown.
Which is surprising, because usually they eat the dogs there.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, actually, a lot of Asian countries have issued warnings to stop eating dogs until the coronavirus situation is taken care of.
For now.
You know, I just talked to your mom about that this morning.
What?
Yeah. We were talking about the coronavirus and dogs. She was like, oh, what? Did they stop eating them? And I was like, yeah. Nailed it. Boom. Bango.
Yep.
Look, I will say this. If you've had a dog and you're looking to wash it down with something, put a little KillcliffCBD.com in your mouth. A nice can of Killcliff will go real smooth with a Chihuahua. No?
What?
I'm just saying, like a can of grape.
To eat?
Yeah, if you're having a Chihuahua.
Okay.
And you need a can of something to wash it down with, that grape Killcliff CBD is the best. 25 milligrams of CBD in every can. And they got 3 amazing flavors right now. They got the grape, they got the mango, and then they got the orange kush. Look, since 80% of our audience is military and or first responders, and you have to take drug tests, you will not piss hot for this. There's no THC in it. It is purely hemp infused. That is it.
By the way, there's a new, so they have a variety pack now.
Fuck you. Do
so
they
you
really?
can, if you haven't tried it yet and you want to see which flavor you like, you can go buy a variety pack and try all 3 flavors and see which one you like, and then you can buy cases of that.
I'm in. Look,
you're welcome for that. That was my idea.
Was it really?
Yes.
20% off with the promo code Drinkin Bros at KillcliffCBD.com. This is the best in the fucking business, man. 25 milligrams in every can. Dan and I.
It's the best.
We drink a can every
Rogan's
night.
drinking it now. They just posted a picture yesterday of it on his desk in front of him. He had 2 grapes on his desk in front of him before the show. Like a guy that consumes that much, he's probably drinking a couple of those a day.
Easily. So they went out to Rogan. They went out to us with a test. Remember the test cans we got? We were all in on this product, and we're like, yo, this is the fucking best in the biz. So you can get it shipped right to your house, and it's free shipping, too. That's the beauty of it. So for a case, 20% off a case, it's like fucking $3.80 a can. So you can get one of those bullshit cans of Monster, or you can get a fucking Killcliff with 25 milligrams of CBD in it. No carbs, no sugars either, dude. It's the best. Seriously, one of my favorite products that we have.
Definitely the best.
Next up, sex robots replicate human expression, leaving people convinced that they are alive. Sex robot manufacturer Real Doll has released a staggering new video that flaunts its latest range of dolls powered by artificial intelligence. That viewers remarked that one even looked alive, which I like. If you haven't seen this, I'd highly recommend watching it.
Yeah, you should go watch the video.
It's getting all this shit is getting crazier and crazier, and we're getting real goddamn close to Westworld type shit.
Yeah, this is the funny part to me. So it's always weird to go back and look and see what drove innovation, but sometimes when it comes to technology, there have been several instances where porn or the sex industry in general have driven the conversation. So I don't know if you remember, there was an anecdote inside the movie Tropic Thunder, Jay Baruchel's character, the nerdy white kid, where he was talking about DVD and Blu-ray versus other types of digital or movie media that gets sold. And they said the reason that Blu-ray ended up winning is because the porn industry used it, and they produce so much content that's the case. So humanity, we're just such dirtbags that this is probably this bullshit is probably going to be what drives AI innovation and technology.
Yeah.
So to the point where they take over you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
Of course.
But I mean, look, if you're gonna get the robot apocalypse is coming, we're gonna get taken over by and probably wiped out by robots at some point in the next 100 years, probably.
Yes.
So
we won't be here. So
no, we'll be dead.
Yeah.
Probably from some robot-related,
But
injury.
they'll be hot. These robots.
That's the thing. Like, would you rather it be Arnold Schwarzenegger, or would you rather it be the girl he was fighting in T3? You know what I mean?
That's a tough one.
Because she was super hot, so it's like I would rather get beaten to death by a hot person than some dumb computer with a metal face on it.
I agree. Like one of those Boston Dynamics, dog. I don't want to get my fucking crotch eaten off by one of those fucking things. But you're right. I would get punched to death by like a hot T3 for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's like the likely scenario is that you and your wife buy one to fuck around with, or she commits suicide because she's done with your bullshit, and then you go get a real doll or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, or you meet one out at a bar and you don't even know that it's a fucking robot yet, or whatever the case is, and you just get fucking muck ducked by that thing.
Yeah.
Shit.
You know, shit.
You never know.
That's better to me than fucking just like sitting in your house and all of a sudden, robots hey, boom.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. I want to be seduced before I'm dead.
Exactly. You want to go to a bar. You want to meet a nice robot.
Yep.
You want to chat her up, have a few drinks, go home, bang, and then she just fucking chokes you to death.
I feel like the dude version of this would be way more like women aren't as creepy as men are, generally speaking. Like men are way creepier than women. Yeah. But I feel like women's sex toys among women are way more popular than they are with men.
Yeah.
And it's primarily because women want to be able to, well, first of all, dudes don't know how to make women come half the time. And the second part is women don't want to deal with dude bullshit sometimes. And I agree with that. Like sometimes I will turn down something and just go, for not now, but for years, I would just like, I'm just going to go pound off.
Right.
I'm not going to deal with all your shit.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the post-cum clarity is a real thing.
Yeah.
And you don't want to invest another couple of hours in that person that you just unloaded into because, look, it's just not worth it.
We're having a conversation,
So
maybe going to an IHOP.
Yeah. So what I think is where are the men real dolls? Like if you can make it look and sound real, and it's it doesn't even have to look that real. It just has to sound real. Like apparently these things are interacting with people. Like you're asking it questions and it's learning and shit like that about you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That seems like women would be into. Honestly, what do you think? Would you let a real doll bang you?
No.
And that's not a single word answer kind of question. So
no. I think there's a reason why like the blow up dolls and women's sex dolls are a lot more.
That one right here.
Yeah.
Boom. Pop that
are
up
a lot
on the
more
camera.
popular than a male sex doll.
Dudes will
because
fuck
it's
anything.
all that, but I think it's more mental for girls. So like we can have
but that's what I'm saying.
We can have our sex toy.
These things don't just look real though. They have a brain and they're fucking talking to you.
But I know they're not.
You say that, but that's the Turing test, right? So the Turing, are you familiar with that?
No.
The Turing test is where a human being has a conversation with a robot or a computer or whatever it is, and the person, the robot or computer or whatever it is so sophisticated that the person can't tell that it's not human. And have you seen, what's that movie with the dude from Star Wars or the two guys from Star Wars? The ginger kid and the guy that plays the pilot. The fuck's the name of that movie? Shit.
Is it a movie or is it Black
Yes.
Mirror? Oh, okay.
Hang on, I'll tell you what the fucking name of the movie is.
While you're looking that up, I want to say this. The butt plugs that were sent in by Craig Dulesky, the ones you were holding up, the medium and the small, there was two others. And we, jokingly, when Tiffany Hart came in the room, she goes, "Oh, are those butt plugs?"
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, totally. And she was like, "I fucking knew it." I was like, "Well, you're welcome to take
What do you mean you knew it? You didn't know anything.
What do you mean you fucking knew it?
I mean,
That's what she said.
Yeah,
she was, "I fucking knew it."
Okay.
She goes, "I've used these before."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." And I was like, "Well, you're welcome to have them. You're welcome to take some with you, whatever." And she was like, I don't need that, whatever. There's two missing. So Tiffany, we know what you are doing.
Yeah, Ex Machina.
Tiffany Hart.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's what that is a Turing test. Like him sitting in that room talking to that robot.
There's a reason why the girl is the robot.
I'm sure. If it was a dude, it would be weird, right?
Yeah.
That's like
weird,
her
or we just don't. We don't need to.
Her with Joaquin Phoenix. But the point of all this is, if the robot was sophisticated enough that you couldn't tell the difference, you say that you would still know, but I don't think that that's true. I think that there's a level, if you can avoid the uncanny valley, there's a level of sophistication and artificial intelligence that would make you feel like it's real. That's the whole point of AI in general. And that's why we're so creeped out by the fact that we talk.
So if I didn't know it was real, it would just be a dude.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be a dude that you could fucking flip the light switch off on. Like you could turn that motherfucker on whenever you felt like banging it or hanging out or whatever.
I would know that it wasn't real then.
Yeah. I mean, intellectually, you're always going to know.
Intellectually,
but we suspend our disbelief all the time.
Jessie doesn't do it. She doesn't do make-em-ups.
But girls don't really do that.
You watch movies. You watch The Notebook and cry. That's not a real story. Somebody made that shit up.
No, it's happened.
It's happened.
That has
really
not
happened.
happened.
It's totally happened.
Oh, definitely.
No. Now, what's your favorite all-time movie?
Of all time?
And I'm going to tell you how none of it happened.
Moonstruck.
Not Moonstruck. American Beauty.
Is it really?
That none of that's ever happened.
No. Actually,
how?
Man, I wish I could tell this story, but we can't.
Anyways,
I will say
my
is this.
point to all of this is that I think guys need more things, right? Like, like a fleshlight doesn't work.
That wouldn't work
in
for
the
me.
same way that like a dildo works for a girl.
Correct.
So like guys need the boobs, the thing, the visual, where women are more mental.
Yeah.
Completely mental. Yeah. And if
So
something is off, if something is fake, if something is like
how sophisticated would this thing have to be for it to trick you?
I mean, it would have to be like full. Like I wouldn't if I could turn it off. If I could turn it off, just that alone would be enough to get into
what's the difference between that and a vibrator then?
It's a vibrator is not as creepy.
Of course, yeah. But if you got past the creepy part, like if it was sophisticated enough to, in the moment, to feel real, you could still fantasize. Women are a lot more emotionally and mentally involved in their orgasms than dudes are.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're masturbating with a vibrator or something like that, you're thinking about something, obviously. Like women, just vibration and contact and friction is not enough, typically.
Yeah.
So
you're thinking about something.
You're thinking about something. So you don't necessarily have to be thinking about that robot. You're just getting a more realistic sexual experience, but it's still fake and you're still in your own head and you can make that whatever you want. I would assume that the robot would be programmable to some degree.
Right.
Like
you could
doesn't do it for me. You could have a switch on there and you could just pick
no interest.
I want to get choked the fuck out today, or I want it to be sweet, say nice stuff to me.
Pose this to Tiffany on Drinkin Broettes.
Yeah, I want to
know her answer. I think she'll go the opposite way. Actually,
I do. I agree with that. I think you're a fucking weirdo. You don't want to get banged out by a robot. Come on.
2 of those butt plugs are missing, Tiff. We know where they are, and I believe.
Are you saying she's got 2 butts?
She has never used one.
She's
before.
got a husband. She's got a husband. So maybe the 2 of them are plugging it up this weekend.
Maybe.
Small and a large.
There you go.
So. Next up, more American pedestrians are dying than in the past 30 years. An estimated 6,590 pedestrians were killed in motor vehicle crashes last year, nearly 5% increase from the 6,283 deaths in 2018. According to the report released Thursday by the Governor's Highway Safety Association, which I'm a card-carrying member of. It's a nonprofit that represents state and highway safety offices. The worsening pedestrian safety record has tracked the proliferation of smartphones, with the number of smartphones in active use nationwide ballooning by more than 400% between 2009 and 2018. I have a different thought on this. I think people are on edge, and therefore it's just like, you know what? I'm going to fucking kill a pedestrian today.
Like falling down, kind of?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've gotten close with bicyclists where I'm just like, man, I'm the only one on this road. A little flick of the wrists.
Or cyclists?
But a cyclist is a person who's in like the Tour de France. These people are not. They're just riding a bicycle.
Oh, okay.
Down.
You're an adult riding a bicycle.
Exactly, yeah. You're a bicyclist. I've thought about just flicking the wrist and being like, hey, man, nobody's going to know about this. I'm on an empty road. There's no cameras, you know?
Right, that's not a pedestrian, but yeah.
But close enough. Like I don't think I could kill a pedestrian just walking, because it's like,
yeah.
They would have to be doing something to impede my travel.
I think people are just looking at pictures of buttholes on their phones. Like the person that's driving and the person that's walking.
That makes
very
sense.
likely both looking at the same
what it
porn.
is.
Yeah.
By the way, I was looking at porn stats the other day.
Mm-hmm.
You know that just on Pornhub alone, what's her name? Kim Kardashian's sex tape gets started. Like the play button gets pressed on it.
Mm-hmm.
One of them 55 times every minute.
Yeah. So,
Jesus.
by the way, the residuals off of that they're making, because the company that owns it, I believe it's Vivid. It's like whack-a-mole. They keep taking it down.
Yeah.
They still sell fucking millions of copies a year. That is the highest sex tape of all time for any celebrity. It's not the best one, but it's the highest selling one. You know.
It's like the worst one, isn't it?
You've seen it, right? It's kind of average. She's
like
hot.
Night Vision, yeah.
She's hot, and that was kind of the allure of it, where it was just like, Jesus Christ, this girl's hot, and it was Ray J, and you were like,
okay,
that's Ray J, and it's pretty funny.
Pornhub in 2019, 42 billion unique visits, which by unique that means like there's only 7.5 billion people on Earth. And a lot of them are children, and a lot of them are old, and a lot of them are in countries that don't even have the goddamn internet. So it's mostly America.
Yeah.
Although the Middle East is pretty rough too. And it's actually a lot of gay shit in the Middle East. Like for Iran specifically, 4 of the top 10 most searched keywords are gay things.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
39 billion searches performed, 115 million visits per day. 6.8 million videos were uploaded onto Pornhub this past year.
Wow, that is a lot.
Yeah. So
a lot.
1.36 million hours of new content was uploaded, which is 169 years it would take to watch just the stuff that was put on last year.
Yeah.
And I'm getting through it. I don't know.
So funny.
I love this data, man. It's fucking crazy. 98,000 amateur models uploaded videos that aren't part of a porn company.
It's great.
Basically.
That's great, though.
God, it's so
I don't
weird.
enjoy the porn stars. You know?
Here are things that are broken down by the minute. 80,000 visits to the site per minute. 80,000 for 1 minute. 11,000 hours of video are watched per minute.
Wow.
Yeah. Man, just the data, dude. Holy shit. 12.5 gigs transferred every single minute on Pornhub of every day forever.
Good for them.
Yeah, they're doing well.
They are.
I wonder, that's Jesus Christ. 80,000 unique visits per day. If they sold ads there, they do now, but that's they're just raking in that money.
Killing it. Absolutely killing it.
It's Canadian too, so they don't have to deal with our bullshit.
No, not at all. Last but not least here, Trump put Mike Pence in charge of managing the domestic response to the coronavirus. Everyone on the left is currently losing their fucking shit over this because Pence is, well, let's face it, he's clearly not a medical professional.
So?
Nor is he pretended to be one. But yeah, who gives a shit? Appointing a czar doesn't mean that they're an expert in the field or the subject.
No, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like the fucking CEO of Taco Bell doesn't know how to make taco. I mean, maybe he does, but that's not what his job. He's not the chef. He doesn't develop the fucking menu.
Man.
They don't have them work every station to make sure they're
it's so
proficient.
dumb. Like the point, the vice presidency exists to be a person in the executive branch who reports directly to the president, who can go out and take on missions like this, like become a czar of something. Like, hey, we're having a big problem with this issue. Why don't you go be my point man there? And that's your job, is to organize the information, not organize the research, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
not
gonna
be in there
Mike
like
Pence
testing shit.
He's not in a lab with fucking goggles on right now. We're gonna figure this out, guys.
I could see it though. He looks like a doctor.
He looks like a doctor.
In one of those like Getty stock photos where it's just like if he wasn't president and he had a white coat on, that would be the guy you buy that stock photo of like, oh, yeah, it looks like a doctor.
I mean, I wouldn't hire a white doctor, but
Me neither.
For sure.
I mean, I go Asian or Indian.
At any rate, the hubbub over all this shit is so stupid. It's like last week, CNN ran an article where people were fucking blaming Trump for the coronavirus and shit like that. Like, come on, man. We've reached a level that is just deranged. Like, Republicans did go after Obama really hard. That whole "Thanks Obama" meme was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of it from some of the farther right parts of the country, but it's like the entire left, like 45% of the country is just like anything that happens.
Anything.
Like,
anything.
This motherfucker.
Yeah.
You believe this shit? Like somebody did this. Like, and here they like create these phantom trails back to something he said or did. Like, well, there it is. Like, no, man.
It is only going to get worse after he's reelected in November.
It's all funny to me.
The party we're going to have here after that, the day after the reelection is going to be epic, and it might surpass the one we had in 2016. For those of you who listened to that episode that night, everybody was like, Ross, that's the fucking most hammered I've ever heard you. And I was like,
yeah.
Well, we recorded at 2:45 in the morning, I think, and all of us were trashed. Now it's time for the Drinkin Bro of the week. This is going out to you, Jesse. This is for you. This is Tim Fry. He is a Drinkin Bro. He owns Smoky Mountain Axe House.
Yeah.
He was on The Bachelor.
Oh, that's right.
That was his spot the other night.
That's right.
And I was searching for him after the show was over, because when I saw him pop up, I was like, fuck, man, he's a Drinkin Bro. And you were the one who was like, dude.
Yeah, it was like he messaged me and told me he was going to be on it.
Yes.
Didn't know how much of his interview would get on there, whatever, but they showed him.
Yes.
They showed his place.
Mm-hmm. And he was on it. He made it, and it looks like a fucking awesome establishment.
I know. It's like an axe throwing, like...
It's in I think it's in Knoxville, because it was for Homegirl's place, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not is it Hannah?
Hannah Ann.
Hannah Ann.
Anna.
Here's what I hope, because look, I've been in Knoxville. I've partied in Knoxville. I love Knoxville. I think it's a blast. That's also where University of Tennessee Volunteers are. They have a great stadium. I wish they were fucking good. We would do a live show from there.
Yeah.
For the sports show and light it the fuck up. But the Vols have to become relevant again. But congrats to Tim Fry, man. It was fucking awesome seeing you on the show. And I'm sure the business is booming after that. Looked like a fucking blast.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see Drinkin Bros on television, especially on a show that big of that magnitude. So to Tim Fry, cheers, brother. That was fucking awesome, dude. Yeah. He was also the one who was throwing axes at the championship on ESPN this past year. So pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Pretty fucking cool. Proud of you, Timmy. Proud of you. That's it, D'Anthony.
Word.
You going to Pornhub tonight?
Yeah, I pound off about 5 times a day.
Okay, where are you at now? We're
what number are we at?
4:15 in the afternoon. Where are we at?
3.
3?
I don't get out of bed without 2.
Got it.
Like when I wake up in the morning, I lie around for about an hour and pound off twice, typically.
Sure.
Okay.
Just because I gotta, if I don't get that out of me, I'll go Kyle in my apartment. I'll punch holes in
right through the drywall.
The people, my dogs, everything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have you ever punched your dog?
No. No, I've got the sweetest, tiniest little dogs.
Can you imagine that? No.
The anger of it.
I would hurt a human being way before I would ever hurt a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would punch you in the face.
Over the dog.
Just in general.
Just
Sure.
No real reason.
No.
Yeah.
But just instead of a dog.
Mm-hmm.
For D'Anthony Hollaway, Jessie Wiseman, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin Bros Fake News. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and buenos noches, everyone.